Hello, everyone. This is our revival. Welcome to the new Go Figure broadcast. We have been MIA for a while and we have resurged into this next stage of Go Figure News, where we're going to be talking all things health, wellness, athletics, sports, recovery, you name it, hormones, the whole works. So we've really diversified, and it really came around organically. And about a week and a half ago, we got online. I was looking at Kolly was doing some stuff on there, and anyone that knows Kolly knows that she is an ex-professional bodybuilder, and she's had an incredible journey, a very challenging journey. And she was definitely someone that I looked at and thought, wow, on so many levels. So the person that's going to be kicking off the very first Go Figure broadcast is no other than Kolly. Kolly, welcome to Go Figure. We are so honored to have you on. Incredible human, incredible athlete, incredible coach. Thanks for coming on board.
Thanks so much for the invite. I'm also really happy to be there and to discuss all together.
I know you're in Switzerland.
Yes, exactly. And by the way, thank you. If my English is not so good or if I don't understand something, I let you know. I will try my best.
Oh, you've done doing so well so far.
And
thank you.
Our accent being Australian can be very hard to, sometimes we need subtitles too. So if there's anything that we say or any sayings that doesn't make sense, you let us know, girl.
Sure.
I think one of the most extraordinary journeys that I had watched over the last 2.5 years in anticipation was waiting for you, Kolly, to get back up on stage. And 2 to 3 weeks before every show, this is a saying, the cheese would fall off the cracker, something would happen, and you'd pull out. And you looked like you were ready 8 weeks before you were ready to go on stage. So I don't think anyone really got the gist as to really understood in the sports community to Kolly over that time.
Okay, so I've done my last show November 2024. And after this, no, let's say already the whole 2024 year, I was deep inside. Is it really what I want? Am I really aligned with what I'm doing? I had a lot of questions starting because I had also other dreams that I wanted to reach. And I still continued because I was still convinced it was to live. So once the last show, after, let's say, 2 months or even already in the prep, I've started to feel some weird and not really agreeable symptoms physically, also emotionally. And I think something is off. And I was thinking, okay, I will just take a few months of break after the last show. And from, let's say, March, April 2025, it started to be like a nightmare day after day, physically, especially with very hard symptoms daily. And then that's when I think that's not for me anymore, and something wrong on.
What?
Sorry.
Oh, no, that's all right. Tell me to shut up. All right.
We're super like rusty. We're even like trying to question you at the same time. But yeah, what were your symptoms? What were you experiencing?
Yeah. So during the last few weeks of prep, I was already having like daily dizziness, but real dizziness. It's like you see the stars and then it's
Yep.
the whole day. Yeah. Headache, constantly headache. That was, for the first part of the symptoms. It was already pretty annoying. And then since April, I started to have huge panic attacks, always a dizziness, bad digestion, headache, but like chronic headache.
Like a migraine. Migraines.
Yeah, exactly. Also, that's extremely difficult for me because I love training and I couldn't myself for 1 year. But every just warm-up set, I had like a heart racing so quick. I couldn't brace correctly. I was almost fainting. And when I stand up, also, it's like a blood pressure extremely down. So,
Yeah,
yeah. So, not able to train with daily headache, with daily dizziness, extreme fatigue, and bad digestion. That was a little bit my symptoms over almost a year.
Wow.
That's full on, isn't it? You've been in bodybuilding, what, for 10 years? That have been about 10 years.
No, only 2020, 2018. So, yeah, 6.
6 years. Had
6
you
years.
been training before that 6 years?
I did other sports, but yeah.
Other sports, yeah. But in terms of bodybuilding itself as the transitional sport, 6 years to get to where you were, which is absolutely crazy. That's a lot of pressure on the body. That's
Yeah.
a lot of things that you need to do to your body in order to get to that level, and under the guidance of coaches, which we'll go into shortly as well. Where did they lead to an autoimmune disease, or where did it go? What was the diagnosis? What did the doctors say?
Okay, so first thing, it was extremely difficult here in Switzerland to find actually a specialist who were okay to take care of my problem. I had a lot of rejection from the endocrinologue and everything because they don't know really of anabolics, and they, no, we don't do. So it took me months to find finally someone more or less specialist into it. So what happened is, in my opinion, first thing, to use anabolics for women, we need to be extremely careful because that's the principal thing who made me have all of this. Then the diagnosis I've got. So first is a complete suppression of the axe gonadotrope, so from the brain to the ovaries. So I didn't produce any estrogen and progesterone anymore. Zero.
Pituitary
Since-
gland was not working. It had shut down.
Yeah, and now still it's not working. So
Right.
this, and then the problem is this hormonal issue leads to autonomic nervous system issue.
Autoimmune. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So the problem is, for example, blood pressure, heart rate, it didn't regulate correctly, and also complex chronic migraine from the autonomic system. So neurological problem and nervous system.
Neurological. Yep. Yep.
Wow.
Wow.
That is
Yeah.
insane. And the doctor's diagnosis was basically saying that this was related to the anabolics that you were using at that time.
Yeah. So I take entirely responsibility in a way. I pushed probably not about the dosage or anything, but about always training, never take any break. Yeah, I didn't do more than 2 days in a row of rest of training years. And also, I think what I realized, what is so important with anabolics is if you reach a certain level of testosterone level, that it's okay, but only in a short period. And then you have to go down. Because if you stay up, it's when everything starts to fall apart, to suppress. And no, I didn't know this. Otherwise, I would differently. And even when I was completely off for breaks, for health phases, I was taking level of testosterone. It was always super high. And I didn't know it was going to finish like this. And yeah, we need to be extremely careful with this.
And I'm so glad you said that as well, because I've been down the road of trying to understand what happens inside a woman when they are taking anabolic steroids that are actually not designed for women. And it's so hard in community when you're in that space. It's normalized. It's almost like it's an expectation. It's what you do. What's your cycle? What's your stat? What are you on?
Yeah.
And when we're looking at anabolic steroids, whether it's testosterone or other PEDs, it's not just what you're taking, because sometimes girls could be taking very low doses.
Exactly.
But it's the capacity to detox from that. And one of the biggest things that we found with women in the sport is that because of the use of PEDs and potentially pre-existing conditions that are dormant that we don't know about, or gene mutations, is that there was this accumulative buildup over time. And they'd be saying, I'm only on this amount, I'm not on much. Whereas the liver itself, having your milk thistle or your tudka and all those other supplements, were not cutting it. And what was happening is the body wasn't producing the right enzymes to detox. And then there's about 50% of the population that have a gene mutation, Kolly, called PEMT, right? And PEMT is this is a gene that requires a certain nutrient called phosphatidylcholine. Now, when someone has a mutation that is activated via stress, overtraining, over PEDs, not emotionally regulating properly or what have you, it opens and it expresses and it stops that enzyme production. And so everything then recycles. So that's one chemical problem. But then, as you would understand, how do you know that the stack you're on is other compounds as well, or it could all be testosterone and just different grades of testosterone. So you could be taking more than what you know as well. And a lot of people do not test. They just blindly take, and then you're dealing two anomalies there. So
and you were saying too that this was not something that you knew about. Can you talk to us more about who was around you at the time during this process and what getting from the wider community and the wider group?
That's the thing. Also, I had so much difficulties to feel good with a coach. I changed many times, and I never found really someone I really trust. And I was right, because now, yes, I have entirely the responsibility. I decided to do this career and everything. Yes. And I want to mention also, the easiest part is to use it, easy. But the most difficult part, and to have the courage, is to completely stop it. And that's this period who is extremely hard, physically, emotionally, everything. And that's what makes me afraid for women, because you can't be lifetime on these substances. And when you stop, you have to be more than ready for this, because it's extremely hard.
And there was, speaking off air, there are actually more people leaving the sport of bodybuilding collectively for reasons, or just, levels that they're not prepared to go to, and where the sport is evolving, that are then dealing with all these health issues. And I think one of the most important things is that if you're an athlete and you're choosing to leave the sport, let's say it's for health reasons, okay? And it's really important to go into that recovery space. And it's great to have doctors and health professionals around you. I think it's really important to have someone like Kolly around you as well, or people that are going through the recovery process, because there is the emotional and the mental process that a physician necessarily wouldn't be able to understand. And as you look at your profile, it's Amandine. That's your real name, everyone. That's her first name, Amandine Kolly. And then you've got mentor. And I think that's really powerful for you. When did the penny drop for you and decided to do a complete 180-degree flip? And I remember it was just like one day you were, the next day you were something else. And I was like,
and we were always curious. Okay, what was we call it that broke the camel's back, final thing where you just went, I've got to change this.
Okay, so I think you mean changing my mindset to athlete to another purpose.
Yes.
Okay, so
because
I think already 2024 I was hesitating. Early 2025 I met my boyfriend, and that was a shift. Okay, I just want to create the most incredible life with him, and much easier for me to take the decision. And right after health problems, I was I did great. I think a shift.
And
you were
so-
saying, oh, sorry, you were saying
No.
that emotionally it was really hard. It was harder for athletes to get and completely get off. I'm so curious to find out what your thoughts are around that,
course.
because I really want you to go deep on that one, because I truly believe that is the major barrier for women who are having thoughts. They're seeing changes, they're seeing problems coming up, but the thought of completely and then going back to having a normal body or whatever it might be, is that part of it for you?
So I think you touched the most important points right here, because all the symptoms physical I've said before, it's 10% of the pain. 90% is mental and emotional. So what happens is, first, you have to shift your identity, or you have to use your athlete mindset for something else. You have to find another purpose. We know that bodybuilding, it takes all you have, it's all your life, your purpose. So from one day to another, you have to shift it, and you have to find something who is as strong as it is inside for you. Okay, what do I want to do in life? What I'm dream about to become? So that's the first thing. Then other is, when you have such a huge hormonal imbalance, estrogen, progesterone, they are extremely important for your emotional. When zero, it's so hard, and this is well known. And also, what did I want to say?
That's okay. We have those moments too. You must have had a drop in your estrogen. Got the brain spot happening.
Yeah, so you have identity shift to suddenly you are like, wow, wait, where am I going? I just lost everything I was piloting. It's so hard. You have the hormonal, which is huge impact on your emotional. And then you have, of course, the health problems. So it's things that you have to deal with at the same time. 3 big things. And I was, no, I won't let it impact me. I want to create something. I want to be successful in a business. I want to help people. And that's how I decided, despite these challenges, to build my company and to, I'm like, I want to share the experience I had, good and not good, to help other women.
So
that's
you've used your
everything to me.
You use your mess to become your message.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
True.
So if we go into the feeling of, coming off PEDs, because what people don't realize is you can't go cold turkey. If you do, there's more fluctuation that occurs. Some people actually need to scale off over a year, sometimes even longer, before they're completely off. But look, I was on PEDs too, in my last show, and not much at all, like the least I'd ever been on in my whole entire life. But I remember kind of coming off the PEDs, and then like looking, it was almost like overnight, graininess would go, or would start to come in. And I would look at myself and I would think anything less than what I looked like on the day of the show, ripped, dried, dehydrated, was shit. And been past that to try and, without thinking to myself, oh, I'm less than now. I'm settling for something lower. Real challenge. Did you find yourself going through that journey, and how did you flip that script in the moment? Because it's hard, isn't it? It's hard to find someone that understands. I almost feel like you were on this journey solo, like you were flying.
Yeah.
Blind, like completely blind. Like,
I think, so to describe how you feel if you stop, right? Ooh, that's not easy. You feel completely lost. You feel completely unmotivated. You lose so much strength, physical and mental. Your body changes completely and really quickly. Yeah, it's
So when you were
difficult to
there,
describe.
like when you were there and you were going through it, because all those things, it happens to every single woman that, you know, even natural girls go through that process, don't they? Like, it's not
Yeah.
just
As a natural eye, yes, it does. It
Like,
does. But yeah,
then
you know, even competition even affects, you know, natty athletes as well, emotionally, things like that. So I can only imagine if you're adding some hormonal things to that mix, for
it's
yeah, how difficult that can be. And
True.
I'm so happy that you are talking about this, because I think there are so many women out there, like we've been getting smashed by messages from women.
Sure.
So there, like with your business, the direction that you want to go, there is so many women who need help that are going through
I'm
exactly
so
what you've
happy.
described, you know?
yeah. And
Yeah.
it's not just with bodybuilding. There are also just recreational people that go through transformations that have had extreme experiences. And I guess this kind of leads into coaching aspect. And from what I was hearing from you, and you jumped and you tried a lot of coaches, it's almost like you couldn't find what you were looking for 100%, so you had to become it. Yeah. So if we go, you're right. So if we look at your experiences with coaches, and the biggest mistakes that they're making at the moment from your own eyes, you know,
Mhm.
what are the issues that you think that are actually out there happening at the moment with these coaches?
I think they don't know deep enough how the body of a woman work, how hormonal system of a woman work, and they don't know the consequences. They don't know.
Yeah.
It's they don't know. They
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
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 And
We've
then yeah, and they even don't know much more like about the mental and emotional aspect of a hormonal problem. They
Yeah,
have
the
no
impact.
clues. Yeah, the impact,
You know, the
exactly.
impact that it has. And what we're looking at is coaches, and like we know you had some great coaches, right? In
Yeah.
terms of like very well known, very popular, very decorated. We'll say decorated coaches, right? So they had the name, they had the before and afters, like, but they didn't have the journey. And you know, and this is what I'm seeing too, and what Rose saw as well, and we're in agreement with what you're saying too, Kolly, is that there is a level of understanding that is required for the human anatomy, let alone the woman anatomy and the chemistry and the molecular understanding of it all, and the interaction and the consequences that you don't get taught in a certification course as a personal trainer, or even in a level of even an advanced diploma in nutrition, you don't get taught.
No, and this is right. Like, and I think that with like Lisa has been doing this masters, and she has learnt even more through her master's program about these interactions, and she's gone, whoa, she's had her own epiphany, haven't you? And
Yeah.
where she's gone, whoa, I like
So
there's things that she's discovered as
yeah,
well, you know, that
yeah,
she didn't not necessarily know about before. And then I look at landscape right now in the bodybuilding world, where it's completely normalized to have bikini girls using
Yeah,
these substances. And I'm just like, what are you guys doing? Women who, we are so different than men, but there's a lot of
sure.
these bro coaches being like, it'll be right, just put her on the stack that I've been on. And like, it is crazy, some of the stacks that Lisa has been sent. It's insane, isn't it, Lisa?
oh, it's crazy. Like, I don't even think there's certain male professional bodybuilders that are on what I've seen some of these girls go on. And we're talking bikini girls, and we're talking
Yeah.
drugs you wouldn't touch, like Trinabol, for example, which I don't think anyone should have. It's like it's a freaking cow steroid, right? So like,
And you know, I think one of the problem also, because for example, my last coach, it was extremely soft. I think it was really, how to say, like, it was nothing crazy. It was really okay. And the problem is, as you said before, even if it's not crazy stuff or crazy dosage, it can cause so much damage. And they don't know. They think that it's safe, it's a little stack, no problem. But the problem, even with such a little thing, depending on woman, it can create so much damage. And also when you say to the person, something feels off, I have dizziness, I have this, and they don't listen, that's the problem. They don't listen to the athletes, don't give a fuck.
So what's
And
your
this is-
advice? What's your advice to women out there right now that might be sitting on the fence like you were at a crossroads, dependent on their coach, but yet also uncertain and not feeling comfortable and feeling that they might be,
Well, they're being gaslit, right? They're being gaslit. Like
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you're saying to your coach, I'm dizzy, I'm having a racing heart. Oh, you'll be right. You'll be right.
just on a deficit at the moment. This is normal in the
Normal.
last weeks of
Yeah, it's just normal. Yeah,
right. This
What
is
is the
normal.
word?
The worse you feel, the better you look.
exactly. That's bullshit. That's bullshit, really.
Right.
And it makes me angry because
Yeah.
it's dangerous. But
Yeah.
it's dangerous.
And, but
No,
when you
don't
win
be
it, you don't
sorry.
see
This
it.
is why we've got you on, because this message does need to be spoken about. There are honestly, there's so many girls that are just suffering in silence.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
being told by their coaches the same thing, like, oh, it's normal. Oh, the more you hurt, the better you're going to look. Like, men have no idea, coaches, as you said, about her and how she operates and how she works inside.
So
Yeah,
what's your
I
advice
think-
to these ladies, Kolly? Like, what's your
Sorry.
advice to these girls? What's your advice to these young ladies, these women, seasoned athletes that have been like in it for 10, 15, 20 years?
So I think first thing, we need to trust our instinct and bodies. If we have something unusual, who is, like a symptom or something who is, I think as athletes, we know limits, you have to suffer. Okay. But there is a certain limit to not cross. And I think if we feel, okay, this feels off, we need to trust ourselves and communicate to the coach. And if the coach don't arrive to understand and listen, then fuck change. That's not
I
possible.
love you. If the
Yeah,
coach
that's
doesn't
easy.
listen,
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, only thing I got, the coaches, I had one who says to everyone that I lie and I eat more than I should, when it was never true. So the only thing you get from these people, they don't give a fuck about you. They just want money. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them. After my last show, I never heard a single word of the coach who were coaching me anymore. Never.
Oh
What
my
the fuck?
God.
Could fucking die. They don't give a fuck. So live for yourself, compete for yourself, but always listen to your body, trust your instinct. And if the coach doesn't want to listen and
Yeah.
to trust you, bye.
And
That's
so if we're looking, okay, side, now if we flip the script and go, okay, so what kind of a coach do you want to work with in this space? Because let's face it, they're going to keep taking grey market peptides, grey market steroids. It's not going away, right? It's here to stay, right? And we'll talk about how that's evolved shortly. When you're thinking about going over to that side, or maybe it's someone that's a natural that's thinking, now it's time to get enhanced. What are the considerations and what would you be looking for in a coach?
So extremely good. Yeah, extremely good question. I think first you have to know the risk and the consequences. You also have to know the post consequences of it. And I will personally try to find, like, I think now I will say a woman, because they know well about the bodies, and almost like not a doctor, but someone who has really some knowledge about the female hormonal system, or an athlete who experienced also challenges, has the experience of it, and know how to
And I think
I
you
think
hit the nail on the head there. It's someone that's actually got a science background that understands chemistry, understands
Yeah.
biology, understands anatomy from a molecular level, right? Like from a deep level, and that certain pharmacogenical, pharmaceuticals have in that body, because, I'm studying genetics, diagnostic
That's
genetics,
amazing.
which is great. And I'm like, well, why can one person do this and then the other person can do that? And one of the subjects we studied is pharmacogenics, which is study of pharmaceuticals in the ecosystem, everything from HRT all the way through to psychotic medications. And there are certain precursors, genetic markers that would make someone more predisposed to,
True.
She's very bright, this girl.
Wow.
to a
This is
certain
incredible.
compound. So whenever someone wants to come to me and they want to get up on stage, we do a comprehensive genetic test, Kolly, and it's over 200 pages of information about them,
That's incredible.
on all of their health domains. And you can't fuck with it, because it's as accurate as a paternity test. It tells you this is what you can do. This is what you're capable of. Here are your rights. And then alongside that, if there's anything that they need that is, pharmacological based, there's an integrative medicine doctor. Get your markers done, right? Work with someone as well, like you said, that understands the interactions in that space, but also has a team of people that they work around, that they can leverage for the right support, medications, all that sort of stuff that are approved, right? Because I feel like, and I don't know, if you understand this, because Rose has been a lifetime natural, and obviously we show at Ben Weir was incredible. Like, people would ask her if she was assisted. I'm like, she's a fucking lifetime natural, right? She's got glutamine,
so
creatine,
cool.
and fucking whey protein powder. That's it, right?
Lots of whey protein, though.
Well, that's some gym to get rid of the extra estrogen, because your body freaking loves it.
my body loves to just hold a bit of estrogen.
yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So get knocked up in 2 seconds just like that if you wanted. But understanding, like, and I think that's the biggest thing you said there, really look at someone who understands the science as well as someone that has the experience in it, because you can get someone that knows the science but has no idea how to apply it.
If you can have someone who has both, that's gold.
That's the magic spot right there. So, and I saw that as well with you're going back and you're studying, and you've been
and you're studying again. Tell us about your, like, so where are you at, like, now in your coaching journey? Is that the type of coach that you're wanting to become, I guess?
Of course. So what I built is like a complete holistic approach with a digital platform, with one-on-one mentoring, and how to say, my female clients, it's more like women from 30 to 55 around, and all the hormonal phases you have in life, to work with them, to understand them and everything. And also would love being able to help women who are finished with a sport career, and just to help them physically, emotionally, everything. We built into something crazy. That's a little bit what I
align with that, don't you? Yeah.
That, like a life, almost like life coaching kind of thing, because that's what women, I think you're right, like women post, well, even men too, like, but we're talking specifically about women here. But like, as you're so lost when you finish your sport, it's like, well, what am I going to do now? Who am I anymore? I'm lost. I don't know where I'm going. And it's helping find that identity again, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. It's so difficult to find, as you said before. You can find specialists to rebuild your health technically, but the emotional aspect is nothing. And it's exactly this. It's just being able to help to rebuild your identity, to rebuild your little bit your hormonal system also, and your nervous system. When you push super hard any sport, of course you have to balance again your nervous system as well. And just that girl can find her fire for something, her
How
purpose
do
in
you
life. And
how do you
yeah,
guide a woman or an athlete that's retired in any sport for that matter? Um, how do you guide her through the process emotively to get to a place where she is reinventing her identity?
yes, I had one. Then I also have a lot of women more for the only hormonal aspect only, but yeah, there is a huge inquiry into, can we say in English, perimenopause and
Perimenopause, yeah.
premenopause? Yeah. So there is a lot of inquiry on it because since 2025, for five, it's really up because people slowly realize, oh, okay, it can cause some troubles, also emotionals, but why there is not a lot of like prevention or stuff like that on it. So I have a lot also in this
Yeah.
path.
And so when someone comes to you, I'm lost, I don't know who I am anymore, I've got perimenopause
Yeah,
kicked in, like, what do you say to them? Like, what are the steps? So, for example, I understand what you're talking about as well, but for the audience sake, like when someone comes in, I'm lost, I don't know who I am anymore. Used to be fit. I used to be able to run with my children and, stay up for the whole day without drinking 10 coffees. And so for me, the first thing we do is to identify who they are, we look at their core values, or we help them
yeah,
identify core values and the states that allow them to feel at their best, if that makes sense. So
yeah.
with yourself, like how do you guide a woman comes to you, she's either an ex-athlete, perimenopause, in menopause, maybe she's gone through a traumatic event, she's broken up with someone, or how do you help build that woman
Yeah,
back?
I think it's a medium-term process. Um, I think it's a woman like really slowly, for example, 6 months, and step by step, we build the new bricks. And with this, work with 4 pillars. So, which is mindset, training, nutrition, recovery, and health, of course. And I think also the one-on-one mentoring, to be present, to listen, to communicate with person is extremely important because she needs support. So yeah, it depends always on the person, and it's really step by step
I love the
building back
the
some
pillars of
confidence
health.
and
That's exactly what I'm at, because I think that's
yeah,
important. And it's a quality of a great coach as well, making of a great coach. The reason why I asked you that is because women are like, well, where do I go? Like, I'm going to find someone that's just really good at macros, that's really good at nutrition, that's really good at
yeah,
prescribing training, that, gives me like a little ebook on how to have a great mindset and stick to my goals. Or talk about removing negative emotions, limiting beliefs, healing
self-confidence and
from traumas and things like that,
yeah,
and rescaling that. So the fact for me personally is a huge element. I'm looking at a coach, whether it's health, business, personal,
yeah,
relationship, whatever it is. They've got
true.
certain pillars of health. And it's so funny. The moment you said your pillars, I was sitting back going, well, mine's mental, emotional, spiritual, nutritional, and physical.
I was
And
like, oh yeah, you guys are gonna gel real
That's
good. 'Cause
so good.
I'm like,
That's
she's got it.
incredible.
I'm like, I know why we connected. And so I think that's really important. And then, inside that, it's like a blank canvas, isn't it? You have to feel the person out a little bit
Yeah,
and you know the right thing to say rather than have something that's premeditated. And I think that is also a really valuable quality that you have to be able to do
thank you.
that. Go, this is the steps, but inside the step, well, the hamburger might look a little bit different. Sometimes there's one patty,
Yeah,
sometimes it's two, sometimes we have cheese and tomato, sometimes we don't. It's a cheeseburger.
absolutely.
So I think that's another amazing quality within a coach. Now, if we kind of move from coaching, and let's say someone wants to come to you and they compete again, or they
Yeah.
want to compete, take us through that process. Are you open to competing, putting clients through competition? And how Kolly takes someone through the competition process now?
Okay. I still have some incredible athletes that I'm so happy to coach, but they know with it's like health first. And
Non-negotiable. Yep.
yeah, and
Yes.
but I think now, to be really honest, if some competitors would ask me to coach, I would not take anymore. I'm so happy to have the ones I have to
Yep.
help them to stay healthy. And but my vision and what I really want inside my heart is to help this woman we've talked before. And
Yep.
also, like, I'm less kind of aligned with using this substance, especially for women.
Yes.
But I also know, like me, the first before, I was only seeing performance. I want to perform. And to bring some prevention, okay, yes, can perform, but healthy. That would be my approach if someone
Yep.
come to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you would advise them going, well, I don't compete anymore, or
Yeah.
people on stage, but this is the kind of coach you need to look for.
It's crazy how you two are so aligned with where you're at, right? Like,
Right? It's crazy.
right?
It's crazy. It's crazy. Look, I think it's really important. And the key word here, you said that, you probably wouldn't put people through because you're just not aligned with the space of bodybuilding. I will say wholeheartedly myself as well, especially on an international level, especially on a professional level, across a number of different federations, but there's a leader in one of these federations as well. And it's almost treated like a badge of honor, level of evolution, and the change and the distortion, and the amount of deaths that have occurred in the last 5 years. It reached over 400. There was a study done in Italy where some scientists followed, it was something like 20,000 IFBB athletes. The
Wow.
bios, it's in my
Crazy.
link, the study's in my link. And they followed them for 12 months. Okay. And in that 12-month period, over 106 died suddenly.
Crazy.
Suddenly like that. That's not including any injuries. Now, they're doing a study now, women, because this the hardest thing was there was no studies, Kolly, right? There's nothing, no one was going to study this, right? And his specialty was in the cardiovascular space. Heart attacks,
Yeah.
dead. We had a 22-year-old again last weekend that just died, 22 years old. Boom, done. Gabrielle, and it was another one from 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Fucked it. There's a young boy who I'm seeing at the moment, and he's 22 years old, started PEDs at 15. He's not going to make it to 25. Yet the environment that he's in is endorsing that. And I'm like, I can't be part of that, especially as a health professional. And I understand where you're coming from now. But
Yeah.
look at the sport now that you've been out of it for 18 months and completely separated from it. What do you think the biggest issues are? And what would be your advice to anyone entering the sport right now at that level?
Ooh, that's difficult. Wait, I need to think how to explain. Or we ask the question like this.
Sure.
I thank you so much.
So we know the sport have evolved. We're talking off air about from 2024 to 2026, the amount of changes that's occurred. So maybe we can start with the changes that you've seen in the sport, why you're not aligned with it, right? I think that would be important. And to anyone that will be watching this podcast, that is in the sport or wanting to get in the sport at that level, at that elite level, right? What would be your recommendations, considerations, or advice?
Okay. Yeah, you need to really first try to understand how it works on your body, what it exactly, if you are a man or a woman, you need, to be aware that it can cause some problems. You should need to find right coach, inform yourself. And that's really difficult because I also went through it. As I said, sometimes you only see performance, but please also you have to see your long-term health and try to balance performance and health. That's so important because we don't realize, we think, oh, it only happens to others until it happens to you. And that's the thing. You need to always think it can happen to you also, some issues. And yes, it's not a light thing, really a big thing, especially for women.
What have you noticed?
I
Is that
think,
one
to
of
be
the
honest,
biggest issues then? Do you think one of the biggest issues then is the minimization of that aspect of it? Because that's what I see
yeah,
online.
exactly.
If I'm following the big pages and I see someone share about their own experience, or quite a few women shared their poor experiences with PEDs. There's a bikini girl at the moment, her name escapes, but we want to get her on the podcast. But
Toofy.
well, Toof is another one.
Yeah.
But there's another bikini girl who's just spoken about damage that's been done to her health.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, long
Yep.
black hair she
Yep.
has.
Yep.
Anyway, she was getting absolutely crucified in the comment section. And then people saying, oh, it's her responsibility. Oh, she should. And I just thought, and then other people were saying, well, this is what it takes to be the best. And to me, those are the issues that are huge right now, is normalization and the minimization of side effects.
Yeah.
And not enough prevention. Not enough prevention. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
You know, and I guess I'll look at it from the other side, where we keep rewarding bodies that are becoming so endogenous and so not the criteria, that doesn't even fit the criteria. I will say, though, that the one particular federation has actually changed their criteria. They've removed femininity out of the WPD categories and the bodybuilding.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know that.
Yeah, which used to be in there. So that's been removed. So, and that's been in the last 2 years. And the most endogenous growth from figure all the way through to, you know, like women's bodybuilding, actually being the size, the graininess, and all their femininity is actually gone, right? And I think when Sid Gillen, I'll say Sid Gillen, like not across just the pro league, but I think she was like poster girl for all women in figure across all federations. When she left the building at 55 kilos, because we did the Triple O dynasty, so she's tiny. She's not big, right? So she was smaller than me, right? When she left, that next lineup at the Olympia was out of control. And so there is this constant distortion, which is forcing girls not to hold the line. And the people that are responsible for that are not the coaches, because the coaches are only going, well, we need that now. It is the judges on the panel and however it is that they are defining the criteria. How are they interpreting it?
Yeah.
Have you found that in women's physique? Because you were in women's physique, right? Yeah.
Yeah, physique. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, since my last show, I'm like, is it the same category as I was competing in? And I was even telling myself, but I will never reach this level they have now. It's too much. It's too big. It's lean. It's crazy. I'm almost afraid of this woman, but that's their choices. I completely respect it. And it's just for the people who want to start the sport, just if we could have a little bit more prevention, that will be really important.
I agree. I'm so with you, because as soon as you start raising the flag going, hey, this is not healthy, then everyone makes it about, oh, you're attacking that girl, or that's not what is happening. It's actually other women saying, hell, we are worried about this girl. She is going to die a young death, or she's going to have some serious health effects. And all of the men, I'm sorry to say this, but the men around that particular girl, who we won't name, but we all know who we're talking about, have never seen so much gaslighting, so much minimization, so much pushing. She's being
Crazy.
shared on every single page, being held up as the arguing the next breath around, oh, well, getting rid of femininity out of it. That's also a result of this because they want to normalize. Like, why do we have women's bodybuilding then? Why do we have a women's category if femininity is no longer part of the criteria? Then just put us all up on stage together.
With the men.
Yeah.
Let's just get up to
Throw us all up there together.
You know what I want to also say?
Yeah.
If someone wants to start this sport as a woman, that's going to be difficult to hear, but it's not sport designed for women. To take male hormones, it's against the body of a woman. And this you have to know if you want to start. It's not a sport amazing for women, really, who respect the woman body.
And it's to celebrate the woman's body, you know, like that's what it was. And that's why we got into it. It was to celebrate femininity, to celebrate athleticism and health.
Yeah, and
And
now
hence, thank
femininity
you.
has become a dirty word in our own female category. Are you serious? What the hell? Like that is blowing my mind. Sorry, news to me that they've cut that out of the criteria. I kind of
It's not even in the figure category. Femininity
I
has been
didn't know
taken
this.
out of the figure category. Yeah.
No,
that is incredibly insane. And I'm like,
I didn't know.
why do we create it? Women fought so hard to be included in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And fought
really
really
sad.
hard to even get a place on the stage. And now all of these new category women, sorry to tell you girls, but you're taking us backwards 50 years.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
Getting rid of the criteria of femininity. Are you serious? Sorry.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, because I went in
I'm
there because I was
shocked.
on a page commenting on this particular athlete going, where is the femininity? It's part of the criteria. And they're like, you want to show me where that is? And I was like, I went in and I was like, point. They've changed it, but they haven't actually told anyone about it, that they've changed it. So what happened was this particular athlete, she won. She won the WPD. Then she went and did the Toronto Pro and she got fourth. Now, what I loved about Canada was that they rewarded the softer, the smaller, the more feminine, and the shape. They used the old criteria. And I was like, thankfully, there is some faith going on here. So there is there wasn't a distortion of the categories across the board, across the whole board. I was like, now this is how I remember it, right? And interestingly enough, I asked who the judges were, and they weren't your top ones that you'd expect there to be. There were other judges. And I know that I think it's Ron, he runs the Canadian IFBB over there. And he's very traditional and very conservative. And I think that's important as well, because every year the athletes are getting rewarded for outdoing each other. That's the problem. That's another problem. Whereas if you look at other federations, not saying it's happening in no federations, there's always that a little bit of evolution, but not so drastically. Like you look at the elite or the official, the IFBB over there, Europe. The women's kind of bodybuilding or physique or fit bodies, as they call it over there, now is like the girls look like girls and they pose like girls and they're very feminine. Oh, it's Archie. And so
cute.
And what I'm saying with that as well is that it's been like that for the last 20 years. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's the cutoff.
Yeah.
And I think it's important, Kolly, as well, is if you're in it, know your cutoff, hold the line. There's a beautiful athlete in figure, and I don't turn my heads. But this woman here, she blew my mind, and I've been following her for a while, and she reminds me a little bit of Rose as well, and she's Italian, and her name's Laura. She's got the most incredible physique. And she's got the sweet spot, Kolly, of everything. You can look at her and goes, she's athletic.
Sure.
She eats like a woman. She talks like a woman. She did the Europa on the weekend.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Placed 6th. And the person that won, again, was, she hit her front post like a physique in heels, and she was built like a brick shithouse. Great dedication, awesome, not taking that away from the woman, not WPD. Funnily enough, she stepped down from WPD is what I found out, to do figure. And someone that has what we would call figure, the whole package, the femininity, the muscularity, the conditioning, the shape, poise, the way she presents herself. Interestingly enough, she places 6. And she was told she needed to be harder.
bigger and harder,
Bigger and
harder, leaner,
harder.
bigger, harder, leaner.
Always.
Right?
Always.
Of course.
And anyway, so we were having a conversation with her because I did like a little remix, and I was like, now this is figure. Like, if we're going to talk about bodybuilding, this is bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And it went viral. And I said to her, darling, please hold the line. Do not distort this space, no matter what. She's like, I love the golden era. I love the Corey Eversons. I love this space. I'm not going to distort it. This is who I am. And I'm like, I think that's a really,
beautiful.
Great mentor.
Did you have pressure, Kolly, when you were competing? Did you feel that there was pressure on you, like, in that way?
That's difficult. Yeah, that's a difficult question. I think yes. Yeah,
Maybe not directly. Maybe
exactly. Yeah.
But seeing who was winning, seeing what was being rewarded, is that what you mean? Like, there was that created a bit of pressure because you sort of look and go, oh, that's what I need to look like.
Yeah.
Exactly. And when I think now, it's like, it's opposite of my personality to have to fit certain criteria who are judged so subjectively. When you think, it's crazy because, as you said, you can have such an incredible femininity and physique, but depending of the judges or anything, it can do nothing. Or it's difficult to
That's what we loved about your physique, actually. It's because I think I might have actually shared you with Lisa first and went, this woman, look at her in women's physique, because you were so feminine and you looked like a woman.
Even though you were dense.
I think,
even though you were dense. And
even dense.
That you didn't have boxed shoulders. You didn't have a thick midsection. Like, it wasn't just putting on as much muscle anywhere you could. It was like you filled out your structure just enough where
that's what I
distort.
That's what I always promised myself. I never want to lose my femininity. I will never cross this limit. And that was also part of my questioning in 2024. Should I continue or not? Will it get crossing my limits? And then this is a decision of each individual who starts this sport, but they also need to think about it. Because when you are in it, you don't realize you are losing your femininity until it's too late.
100%. And, I think that's important now, and then realize how long it takes to even start coming back the way. And I think, as we kind of start to wrap this up as well, like, one of the things that you mentioned earlier on in the podcast was, like, I'm still not 100%, and it's been 18 months. You're still not 100%.
Imagine.
And I see this with a lot of women that some never recover because they don't know what to do anymore. But even someone who's educated and committed and dedicated is sitting here 18 months later, still having issues and working through those issues, obviously. So in my experience, it takes anything from 2 years to come back the other side on that level.
True.
Yeah.
So examples of the axis from the brain to the ovaries, it can take 2 to 3 of HRT treatments, and it's not sure it's getting back. So that's why they need to really think before starting, and not like I did the mistake to just do the bull, let go, and to listen to everyone. And
go. I'm going to put your pay at your photos, right? It's going to be this. Go.
Yeah, but you're so right. When you're caught up in the moment, like, as you said, that's a very important aspect of this, that when you're caught up in the sport, it can't see can't see these things, and like other people sort of go, wow, she's really getting masculine, and they take that as a personal attack.
Yeah.
And everyone else around them says, oh no, don't listen to them, this is what you need to do.
Yeah, now that's
They're just
fucked.
jealous because you look so good.
And even me, when I was competing, I had so much troubles in my country with this, like some talking behind my back. I look like a man, blah. So I can't imagine if I will continue. What will be? That's yeah. Personally, it wasn't choice to. Yeah, I wanted to stick on my limits. I wanted to stay, and I'm really myself for. Yeah, just to have taken the decision, because also I think there are a lot of athletes who would love to stop, who would love to, yeah, to stop all of this and to change their lives as well, but they don't dare, probably because of pressure, of fear of judgment, of, oh, but what will happen physically, mentally? And yeah, I
It's
encourage
addiction.
this woman.
It's an addiction. It's no, like, I'm going to say this like quite seriously. It's no different than being a drug addict,
Exactly. Yeah,
right?
that's so
Like,
sad.
you're still having withdrawals, you're still having complications, you're still addicted to it, you loop back around, you relapse. This has happened. We see it. So
We've talked, like Lisa and I have had some really frank, open discussions, and you know, like Lisa was saying too, she was like, she had started to notice some changes. And like, even with her, she was like in the grand scheme of things, like nothing compared to half of the people that we know. And even then, weren't you? You were seeing like, you were like, oh God, what's going on? Like,
yeah.
and
And
it
so,
Yeah.
was,
so I thought I put myself in early menopause, and
Yeah.
my period stopped for 5 years. And it's only in the last 2 cycles, could you believe? And we're talking about PMS here. This is
and we cycled, we synced up. She synced up
right.
with
The
me.
first time it came, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Right? The British soldiers are marching. Rose,
Crazy.
floated, my tits hurt. Oh, what is it?
She rings me and she's like, Rose, I've got my period.
Wow, that's crazy.
And
That's
then like,
crazy.
I'm like, maybe it's just a fluke, right? Maybe it's women that are in menopause or perimenopause. I'll have the random period and then it, goes off. 29 days later, boom, again, I got it again.
Wow, crazy.
Now, when I look back at that, I'm like, obviously, what is the difference? Well, obviously being completely off absolutely everything for 2 years, but
Yeah.
working through a molecular level with my genetics to bring myself back the other way and understanding what needed to be rewritten. But the last time we competed, Rose, was 2024, right? That's like that's fucking 3 years. Is that 3 years ago?
Yeah, like, well,
Yeah,
yeah,
2.5.
pretty much like not that long way, and it will be 3 years. Yeah.
Right. So it takes a long time. So here I am now, like I'm reverse the aging process, because the moment that stops, the moment your period stops and you're officially in menopause, your longevity and ability to live a long life and hit those triple digits goes down.
Well, yes. And can we talk about all the bones risk you can have? All the risk,
Density.
it's
You
crazy.
lose the bone density in there. There are
Yeah,
obviously
of
more
course.
health complications. And, and then we're not even talking about, what they put in our foods and our waters these days and all the other things that go on
Yeah,
with it. Like, this is deliberately shortening your life.
sure.
And it might not
Sure.
be, now or 10 years from many bodybuilders that have made it past 75. And a lot of what we've seen between 2021 and 2026, both men and women, which we were talking about earlier, there has been over 400 documented deaths of IFBB professional athletes that have actually
Crazy.
died. Yeah.
I didn't know this as well.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I've been counting them along the way. And they're just the ones that I've been able to look,
Yeah.
have been documented and have been on socials and things like that. So
Wow.
there has been an incredible increase, and I do believe there are other factors involved. There is the increase of PED use. Yes. I do believe, and it is scientifically documented now, that anyone that got the COVID vaccines as well, they have side effects that can actually impact certain people with pericarditis, myocarditis, and other anomalies as well. That is documented, COVID injury, right? So we understand that, right? So you put that with maybe someone that has a genetic predisposition, right? And then you add, and PEDs, and you increase that over time. I mean, like ticking time
Oh
bomb.
my God.
You're,
Mhm.
it's just waiting to happen, right? So, and we've seen more girls, especially the wellness girls, are finding in Brazil, they are just off like flies.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that young girl, like I think the increase in insulin use and things like that as well. It's,
Crazy.
there's some really dangerous substances out there
Yeah.
being.
We talk about that for a minute, because insulin is something that is being talked about a lot in women, or used a lot in women, because it has less side effects. It doesn't change your hormones.
Insulin.
Insulin.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So insulin is, I call it the silent killer if you get it wrong, because you don't get any warm-ups, right? You don't get, like, you're there and you're done. You're down. I'm seeing, and I said to Rose, this is why the girls are getting so big so quickly, is because they're pumping the insulin, right? And if you don't have the right bioavailable, sugar and glucose ready to go, you can fall into a coma. And this is what happened to this Gabriel boy, right? Now, it was hypertrophy cardiomyopathy that took him, right? But he was in his kitchen, and 3 weeks earlier, he was talking about insulin and how he was having some really bad side effects to it and what have you, and it wasn't great. They found him in his kitchen, face down, insulin needle, like on the floor. There it goes. But the post-mortem said that he had cardiomyopathy as well, and he had a pre-existing condition around that. But something like insulin, right, very hard to detect in a post-mortem. So I believe that, yes, it was, obviously his heart was under a lot of pressure, but the insulin factors as well is very dangerous, because you only need to dose the tiniest little bit more. And if you haven't tested your blood sugar levels first, how do you know how much to give yourself? And this is where a lot of them are going in blindly. So we've got bikini girls taking it, ridiculous doses and multiple times a day.
It's insane.
Crazy.
What, bikini girls, if you're listening, if there are any bikini girls listening, anyone is telling you need to take these drugs at that level, that is a lie. It's just a lie.
Yeah.
Come on.
I think the way
Come
that
on.
we, right?
Listen to her.
Like, I think the way that we look now, like we'd be fit body and you'd be bikini, Kolly. So, but yes, look, I think having you on has been like absolutely incredible, because
Oh,
it's
thank
your
you.
voice out there. It's not just us two old middle-aged women over here. Well, we're 45.
You girls are
Shut
equally
up, don't
very
tell people like I'm trying to like pass as someone much younger, even though when they see face, they're like, yeah, right, you're an old lady.
Whatever.
No.
It's one thing that we discuss this, but want to be in a position where there's more women talking about health. It's important, not just on the stage, but off the stage. And we want to feel like women in the sport that are in that phase have people that they
Support.
can reach out to, right?
Yeah.
If people want to reach out to you, Kolly, like how do we get in contact with Kolly? How do we get started with Kolly? Like, how do we
Of course, easy. Like for example, just a DM on Instagram, or for example, you can visit the website, which is my link in my bio, and I would be absolutely so happy to answer extremely quickly for any help or any question that anyone will have. Yeah.
And are you open to like from not athletes, sorry, but women around the world? Like, can you coach
Of course.
online? Yeah, so you're as well as in person. Yeah.
100% online almost. I have
Beautiful.
people from Yeah, yeah, that's so cool. Also, of course, if it's like even an athlete who doesn't feel good or who wants to stop or who doesn't know, yeah, I'm so open.
Or if you're a
Yeah,
woman watching this right now and you've got some questions, whether it's about your coach, about your health situation, about where to now because you've finished coaching, or you've got perimenopause, or the cheese has fallen off the cracker and mentally you don't know who you are anymore, and you want to have a discussion with someone, I think it's really important to start building that community. And, we're going to start rolling that off with good old Kolly over here, or good young Kolly, I should say. Definitely reach out to her, definitely like her page. We'll put the link as well in our bio on the Go Figure broadcast as well. And we just want to say, Kolly, hopefully we can get you on again onto our show, and,
sure.
you can share with us everything that has happened since we, this
In
moment
the
right
coaching
here.
space, in
And
the
what's
in the
next.
exciting space
Um,
of coaching and where you're going now.
Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, that's so
exactly,
cool. And
um,
I say thank you so much, girls, for what you are doing. I think it's incredible. It's so beautiful, humanly wise. And yeah, thank you so much for what you do,
I think
girls.
we share the same passion as you. We are so
Yeah,
passionate about female health, and
sure.
my background is psychology, and I'm a master of
Oh,
counseling. So I work with women and families. That's my passion. Um,
yeah.
and
Wow.
then Lisa's a health, and she's more
geneticist,
down
basically.
that sort of
So
Yeah,
that health and
I want
geneticist
to open
role.
up a big dream after leaving. We all have dreams. You've got your dream, and mine is to open up a performance genetic center and laboratory
wow.
that works on stem cell regeneration and peptide therapy for women that are going through HRT, that are, as an alternative to HRT, that maybe might genetically not be suited to
That's incredible.
HRT. So, but from athletes all the way through to general population. So that's the area that I'm kind of heading into.
So we're all very aligned,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
sense
wow.
that love women and we want the
Yeah.
best for women, and women,
Exactly.
women have it so hard sometimes, to be understood. As you said, we're only just getting into conversations now about menopause, perimenopause, and all of those
Yeah,
phases that women go through that were
yeah,
once upon a time, like our mums and our
Taboo.
grandmas, they didn't talk about. They suffered in
exactly.
silence, and
Sure.
they dealt with all of this by themselves.
Oh,
So,
but I'm so thankful to know you girls. Yeah, that's incredible.
well,
Thank you
we'll
so
definitely
much.
stay in touch. It has been an absolute
Yeah,
pleasure.
sure.
We'll catch you once we stop the recording, and
Of course.
we'll, to anyone that's out there, one last message, don't wait, if you need someone to reach out to Kolly. You can inbox me or Rose as well. We can put you in contact with her. World of wisdom and knowledge. You know what? Care, like genuine, committed care. And I think that's really important as well, because even if
Yeah,
you don't have all the answers, I know Kolly will go find those answers, right? She will go
yeah,
find the
sure.
resource and find the right answers. And that is the makings of not just an incredible coach, which she already is, one of the best women coaches in the world. Absolutely. All right, Kolly, thank you
Thank you.
so much for having us on
Thank
and
you so much, Lisa.
coming on, and we'll chat soon.